You are listening to the Law Enforcement Pirate Radio Network. Radio Free Larry presiding.
You can run, but you can hide.
Radio Free Larry. You are listening to the Law Enforcement Pirate Radio Network.
I don't know why that still continues to do that, but that's okay. Just in case you haven't figured it out, it says it's a play on words also. I didn't know until well after I woke up. But you can't hide. You can't hide your butt. But you can't hide. Just in case you don't know, I have compatriots now. The deep state felt froggier than ever. And some people were taken out of government, some were moved to other places because the deep state spoke of fraud. Let me see who this is. Hello? 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 Are you there? Hell? Oh?
Good morning. This call will be recorded or monitored. I'm looking.
Bullshit call. So just in case you know, or you don't know, or maybe you do know, what did they do? They knew that I didn't care if I got any more money. So just denying it, that wouldn't have given what they were looking for. Again, this is CIA technology, and it's being passed out to all the deep state shadow government criminal enterprise members. You're felons, all of you. Violent felons. Who will increase and continue psychological torture of your victim, in a lot of cases disabled, until they're dead. And you're not saving the world. In fact, we would have less crime if you didn't exist, including crimes against children, crimes against humanity. Crimes against children are one of their wares. They got computers, mainframes, to sexualize people into crimes against children. Well, if they had God the right way, the LDS. See the scam? That's why the LDS is in. That's why the churches are in. Part of the narcissistic game that killed Rabbi Yeshua ben David, the guy they erroneously called Jesus. How about if we take Joseph Smith's name? We're going to change it to Yaakov. Joseph Smith from henceforth will be called Yaakov. You'd be offended, wouldn't you? You hate Jews anyway. You play a game for rich Jews, but you hate Jews. This is the game. They love rich Jews, but they hate Jews. And there's only one reason they love rich Jews. Yeah, it's a love-hate relationship. So the game is that you make the process unfair. And then maybe your victim will grab a gun and go out and do something crazy, like we've seen. So I made a mistake. I said you need to include the ghetto shootings in either mass shootings, and what was the other category? There was another category. active shooter. But what that did, it actually gave them cover. Because you know a gangster's a gangster generally. But if we take them out of active shooting and mass shooting, then we began to see a trend that could be spycraft causation. Years ago, there was a news article, and I explained it, how I think it was New Jersey, and the leadership, this guy was a shooter or something like that, became a shooter, did something like that, ended up dead, like murder-suicide or something, and they were out about it. And they weren't going to let the credibility and life of this person, and no, I'm not suicidal because I speak about suicide, and I'm not genocidal because I speak about genocide, and I'm not violent because I speak about violence. Again, that would make everybody in the world those things. So don't let them play with your mind that I'm any different. No, I am different. It's amazing that I haven't become those things. So that they were sending messages, hey, this is not this person. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Now, I don't know what they did in their town, but they put the message out there that this kind of thing was quite probable. So again, not giving me any disability wouldn't have meant nothing. Well, I guess I'm maxed out, kind of, or it's not warranted, whatever it is. And they knew that because they're spying. Oh, we're investigating. There's allegations. Yeah, I'm like, look at all the people that allege things and look at the money they have. That'll tell you what those allegations are. Again, there are people such as addicts that they use to allege. And they, again, it doesn't mean I'm guilty. It means I've been had this done to me for 40 years or 30 years. Well, it could be 40 years, but 30 years. Right. Oh, actually, no, it was longer. Let's see. So it's at least the first day I was in government. What was that, 1992 or something? So they do an unfair process. Well, you burned your credit, VA. You had credit for doing the right thing. Now, they have two things they say about me. I'm a con man and a groomer. So what they're going to say about what I'm doing right now is I'm either conning you or I'm grooming you for sex. Those are the only two interactions. They say I'm that far gone. Those are the only two interactions I have in a daytime. And if it wasn't for them, I'd have already had sex with children. So you see what they're doing? They're removing my good behavior and my great works to say it's simply grooming for us to allow him to have sex with children. Or he's conning us because he's not really disabled. Each one of those thoughts will send you to hell. See, this is who he is. We heal you and love you. We give you money, power, riches. Nothing in the scriptures says that a devil gets forgiven. In fact, it's the reverse. Right. So they know what they're doing. It's a psyop. If they say no, if my psychology says not getting disability won't mean anything to me, then they'll go to the next level. So if I had called my lawyers, if I had contacted VA, I never would have got that disability increase because they're on the wiretap. Working for the enemies of the United States, foreign and domestic. So when they start talking about banks like that, there's another 20,000 people that see it in the news and go, oh shit, I better do what the deep state says. Doesn't mean it's true. It means it's a deep state trigger. get in line and don't support Trump. If you know what's good for you, and don't support Pavino. Don't support Christie. Now don't support Pence. He doesn't get a retirement job, making $70 million for nothing. Oh, you don't know the other part of the package. They go into Twitter 10 years ago, right? People who are doing me. They go into Facebook 10 years ago. They get stock option. That's the game. That's life. Well, that makes you all a devil, and God will handle it. In fact, what makes them mad is I have God the right way. They're the ones that don't have God the right way. Again, narcissists, what do they say about their victim? Quite frankly, the opposite. The projection. Right? Needs to be hearings on VA. Most likely it's corruption. Most likely it has nothing to do with legitimate process and an oops. So the VA knows the corrupt people in VA and outside VA that manipulate it, including the contractors. They realize that they're allowed a certain number of oopses every year. And each one of them oopses is either fake or real. If it's fake, they're all assured millions of dollars in their life. Additional million or your first million if you're just working for the company. What you don't know in government is the deep state gets taken out to dinner a few times. Maybe they go on a vacation to the Virgin Islands with these people. And they're shown that other lifestyle. Jonathan Luna was killed partially because Hansen, Ames, and several other people in the deep state were arrested by the District of Maryland and charged. I don't know if they were convicted. They may have dropped the case. That was the goal. Oh, it was getting real bad. Every time you looked at a courtroom, there was a government person in the courtroom. And again, I agree to not being over the line, whatever it is. Again, I've seen people charged, and again, I didn't know anything because I was in the government. And I'm thinking, why are they even bothering? Just fire the guy. Right. I'll tell you what, to say the truth. I know there's a civilian entity involved. I would have UCMJ, the guy. I would have talked to, I don't know, what is that thing called? Where they do the betting, whatever it's called. Not worth remembering. But, you know, he did the betting on Venezuela. I would have said, let us handle it. We're going to do an internal, and he'll leave the military, and he'll pay you back. Right. I would have did UCMJ, and that's it. No use in ruining a hero's life. In some cases, he went a little bit too far, but in some cases, and they do. In some cases, they don't even prosecute. Or they don't even do UCMJ. They just say, stop. Right. He was a deep state target, I'm sure. Well, because they prosecuted. They may not even know. Like, I'm not telling you Todd Blanche says this guy is going to get prosecuted because, right, because we're deep state. It's that deeply embedded in the government. So the deep state knocks out any competition in the upper level. Because again, Todd Blanche may get taken care of by the deep state. Not necessarily because he's deep state, because he's in. Again, Christy Noem, the deep state was around her all day. And she didn't realize it until it was too late. Deep state was advising her every day. setting her up. Same thing's happening right now to Mullen. What does that be leery of those bearing gifts? That's the way deep state is coming. Oh, you're wonderful. Chrissy's gone. I mean, she was so horrible. It's going to be great being with you, Mr. Mullen. Or Secretary Mullen. Oh, that Banks, he was horrible. Weren't you the guy sitting in his office every day? See, that's how I know that it could be. Again, I can't say 100% positive, but there's a couple things there. One, I really don't care whether I get disability, so they had to break the process, the psychological effect of not getting a fair shake. That's how they create mass shooters. That's how they even believe it, sexualize people. People that go out, oh, I need relief, I'm going to go get a prostitute because they isolate you. See, this is the goal. Isolate me and then sexualize me and then stress me out. Maybe I'll go get a prostitute, go to a cam girl, look at porn. Believe me, sexual relief is the answer. It's in the scriptures, I'm telling you. Right. It's not good for man to be alone. Why? Because he needs sexual relief. Now, if you don't, you just might be a weird person because you don't have any hormones. Right. And again, you could have hormones and not have sex hormones. Again, these are physiological things. Again, Suzanne Summers was not a freak. Right. Great. And she spoke about sex every day in a marriage. But again, this is part of what they're doing. And again, things will flash past me online while this process is occurring. And they'll say, well, if they get caught, we're just testing him. Don't listen to him, we're just testing him. He doesn't like it because he wants freedom to go have sex all he likes and molest children. He wants to groom all day. They're nuts. But they're not nuts to the point of being innocent. No, you erased your own credit, VA. I didn't do it. So I thought Temu was on to something, but I guess if you lived in the West Coast, you'd be okay. I don't know if they have any East Coast supply. So that would be something, because right now I'm not ready to buy from Temu again. Say, you, well, the delivery date is anywhere from 3 to, this many days, which is like 12 days or 14 days. It's the maximum number of days. So I don't believe they're being honest with delivery dates. Like they knew it would be 14 days. I mean, they're pretty accurate. The longest date looks like the delivery date. So I have that in mind. I mean, I'm waiting for something. It's no big deal. It looked like it's a really good deal, so I can wait. But it is kind of, I wouldn't have bought it from anyone else. Nobody has a price even closer. Although Walmart looks like they have some pretty good prices right now. We might have a price war. Amazon might have to drop some prices. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it is a price war. That's what it could be. Maybe that's what it is. Well, Temu, people stopped buying because it was always overseas supply. Now, I told the Chinese, but I told Alibaba, and I think they do have it a little bit, that you need to do stateside supply. Well, I believe in, I know they're Chinese, but I believe in competition. And if they have stateside warehouses, then we hire, of course, some of those people will be U.S. citizens. And then there's a competition because Alibaba's delivery dates were too long. And, it wasn't really a competition for Amazon. Now, Temu took that model, U.S. warehouses. I told the Chinese that probably 10 years ago. Well, competition is good. I don't, Trump believes in only USA, but I don't think that needs to happen if we do it the right way. Right? Again, China starts cutting us off as far as supplying their nation, and then we cut China off as far as supplying our nation, and then there is a reality we do need supply manufacturing in the United States if we were to have to go to any type of war or even like a COVID event. Right? So I think at a certain point, our rocket engines our missile engines and stuff or something like that were being made in Russia. And they could just cut us off, or China or something. So they could just cut us off. So back to the topic of PSYOP. I don't think it's a noose. I really don't. When they get a chance to do you, they do you. And of course, they were on me all week. They exist. They have super mainframe computers running psychological torture and psychological manipulation operations. So like the person that would be the other side of me, let's say I started chatting with a woman. There would be a mainframe computer and operators operating that woman away from me. In fact, if they needed to, they would use the force of law. If she had kids, we'll take your kids if you go with him, because he's dangerous. Yet, woman dates dangerous people, including the people that do that to her. And then they get off on it, man. Take a woman from more and lay her down. And it's not just about me, it's about being able to do that to the woman. So you know what their answer was initially? 2 consenting adults. It's their business what they did around the investigation. Because why? That's part of the PSYOP. Well, Moore tries to have sex with people that aren't adults. Why do they say that? I already explained why they say that. Why do you ask that? Because you're a piece of shit narcissist, every last one of you. But I'm so nice to people. I'm a church. I'm missing exploited children. I'm your bank who gave you the loan. But that's how they create sex criminals, by destroying their mind. Putting addiction into them. Putting ADHD into them. Putting PTSD into them. That's why I never asked the VA for any money for PTSD, because it was the federal government employees and their criminal cronies. I'm probably more intelligent. I go, this is his mental illness. He thinks he's more intelligent than 96% of the population. Maybe 100%, tell you the truth. I'm a pretty good judge of things. So again, if you think you spoke to the same person twice, not saying it happened in this particular case, because I don't have the capability to investigate that, because I'm not in government or as a private eye. Quite possibly, when you got shafted, it was the same person, and they told you it was 3 different people. And who is it? The people in security at Amazon, the people in the security at VA. They'll route the calls like it's a big criminal case. Ooh. They'll go to hell. It's guaranteed. They're the ones in the scripture that are actually going to hell, not the ones they point at. From their perch in the temple of God as if they are God. Deciding who lives and who dies, who has money, who doesn't have money. Not based upon any type of fair standard. Based upon Satan, corruption, criminality, organized crime, your kids getting addicted to dope, your kids being sex trafficked. Oh, but I saved sex trafficked victims. I'm in the Marshal Service, and I've saved 100 this year. But you're part of the system that caused it to begin with. And most of you know it. Because you operated people to sex crime. That's half of what you're doing in these communities, setting up the next arrest. 10 years down the road, if you operate that person for 10 years, I knew this gal was. Fill in the blank. Well, it's not everybody we arrest more. Yes, it is. You do it once physically, you cost it 1 million times metaphysically. You're devils, and you will go to hell. It's only a matter of time. Everybody passes on. And you're not going to say, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Oh, now I'm free. I said Jesus 3 times. Especially since all of you, are deciding who goes to church, who goes to synagogue, and who doesn't. Most dangerous people are in churches, running churches, in synagogues, running synagogues, but they're deep state. So now they're like, oh, they're okay. The groomer's that person. That's the groomer. Go after that person, and you shall be free. Call that person a groomer fictitiously, and you shall be free from your sex crime. Deputy, church member, FBI agent, DHS, HSI. Not only call them a groomer, make them a groomer. Force them to it. Torture them to it. Oh, but here's another $1 million if you do it. Well, stay peaceful. Praise God in all that you do. Praise God.